My name is Lamar Kerrigan. I'm here celebrating the birthday girl's birthday. I came all the way out here to party with her. Happy birthday, y'all.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
So I just want to thank you for inviting me out. It was such an honor. So I have three really short, well, two short and one long that I am happy to share with you. The first one is sad and it's short, but I think everyone goes through a moment where they encounter some bad times in their life. So this poem is reflective of that, and it's called Cry. I carry pain and grief, hiding it like a teenage pregnancy. My cover on the outside got looser, baggier, smiling, laughing, braggier, but all the while, behind the smile, the twins were growing, protruding, showing. In my soul, pain bore a hole deep in the hollow of me. Grief shored up its walls and kept the openings free so that pain could be fed regularly. Sometimes, I just wish I could cry. When pain and grief make tear rivers flow, the well has tears, but no one would know. The well hardly fills up, for it was dug so deep. But if it were dug shallow, then surely I would weep. Very little has changed. I mean, the fad, the physique, the style is different, yet all other traces remain. And to think I thought my heart would stop and that my life would change. I was afraid of memories I'd have to suppress, memories of mistakes I'd made. Don't stare into the so-called light, all brilliant and bright. You were the shine that caused my blindness, grinning and smiling and showing me kindness. You put a bow in every blow and gave it me in a jar, or was it a pipe? The haze clouds my mind, yet I remember thus far and led me into darker corners of me. You took my hand and grabbed my waist and danced we to the feel of naive. As it became midnight, it became moody. Only then did I realize that the light was missing. The yellow stream glowed and flowed to the ground as the phantoms were pissing. Then the lights came on and I was able to see your retreat from my world was no longer a mystery. It is good to have loved and lost. They'd say it's better than doing it at all. But suddenly I realized that with you in my life, I was about to fall. This is the last one. And this one is, artists in the room, raise your hands. All right, I need to feel your love. Lamont, you didn't raise your hand. Okay, this is autobiographical, so it's personal. This is the one I think Teisha likes. And so, to the birthday girl. It's called I Won't Apologize. I won't apologize for not smoking weed, because the smoke would choke the very air that I breathe. I won't apologize for my sensuality. See, I'm a Christian, yet still I feel sexual heat. I won't apologize that I don't like my hair natural and that every curl must be in place and that my poetic flow ain't that holy though, and at times I'm ashamed of my very own race. What you see ain't what I used to be. Bucktooth, black and hair all nappy. There it is. I said it. But I won't apologize. While still a tyke, I played with matches to light a fire that only God could ignite. My mind grew strong, but I couldn't get along because my complexion was a reflection of midnight. They called me a spook, y'all. An African booty snatch, African booty scratcher. So please know, I will not apologize. There was this time when I was 9 and I thought a boy was cute. Pale skin, hazel eyes, curly hair, and yeah, he liked me too. He asked me to dance, so I took a chance, and that's when our feelings took root. But when our classmates saw it, I mean, who could have thought it? They didn't like what they would see. It seems they were jealous and laughed out loud, singing, Ebony and Ivory. Well, that really hurt me. They failed to understand that this bud of a man could see who I am, that I was more than nappy-headed and buck-toothed. He saw a friend he could pin, and in the end sketched a picture with the caption, best friend, you are beautiful too. I won't apologize that I can eat a Twix and shrink my size from an 8 to a 6. I won't apologize for these daughters of mine who have been through hell, but they will be just fine. You don't know them like that, so don't talk behind their back saying that they think they're all cute and that they think they're all that. No, you think they're all that. Their self-esteem is intact. And guess what? They'll never think they're ugly just because they're black. And yep, you guessed it. I won't apologize for that. You see a hint of my glory, but you don't know my story because the light that shines through me comes from the sun. I was a wretch undone, but he is the one who in the end will say, daughter, that was pretty well done. He lifted me from the miry clay, that's my granddaddy's name by the way, and placed me on a rock to stay. But those old Betties still shake their heads and say, that's a shame. She wore that dress to church with no stockings on today. Really? Is that all you can see? Because there was this time, you see, when I had 2 babies and wrapped in my womb was child number 3. I had a car of my own, but it was never parked home because I also had a husband who didn't love me. My belly was showing because the baby was growing, and honestly, I had nothing to wear. I wore my husband's shirts to cover my girth because I thought, if only I could get to church. Who really cared? The dress that I wore was given to me by a lady with music in her hands. It was the only one I had, so each Sunday I was clad in a dress because women couldn't wear pants. We pressed our way through the cold on Sundays as we had on many Sundays before. I had no stockings because I couldn't afford the $1 it would cost at the store. So I put on knee-highs instead. I thought it was better than going with nothing at all. What I didn't know is that knee-highs is short and covered when you like 3 feet tall. That day, it would have been better if I had worn none at all. So no, I don't wear stockings when I go to church. And I won't apologize. But who did plead and say I'm sorry to me? You didn't apologize when my daddy wasn't there when I wanted a snack the cupboards were all bare. And you didn't plead with niggas with teeth that I gave good head because of the gap in my teeth. You weren't there when I hung shirts on my head, long and flowing like it was my hair. No one apologized for this issue and more. I believed I was unworthy because I was ugly and black and poor. Not knowing that someone could love me for me, I made love, praying eros what agape mean. So excuse me if I chuckle if you say I'm beautiful. Please, don't be offended if I think it's a line because not too long ago being dark meant being ugly. But nowadays people be like, girl, you're so beautiful, you're so fine. So I won't apologize for not smoking weed because the smoke would choke the very breath that I breathe. And I won't apologize for my sensuality, you see. I'm a Christian, yet still I feel sexual heat. I won't apologize that I don't like my hair natural and that every hair must be in place. And that my poetic flow ain't that holy though, and at times I'm ashamed of my very own race. What you see ain't what it used to be. I permit myself to be who he created me to be. Made in his image, I reflect his glory. Cleansed in his blood and called by his identity. Some see it on my life and they mistake it for vanity. So I'm sorry for all of those things that you've mistaken of me, but I won't apologize for how he handcrafted me.
Yes.
You want to tell them that you got it all right. Okay, give that for Lamont Curry again.
So one, I don't consider myself an artist. I just do stuff that artists like to do. How many of y'all read like novels? Any novel readers? Okay. So I'm a writer. I have 4 books. 2 is a series, a prison series. One is called The Hill and the Wall. The Hill I wrote when I was in prison, and The Wall I wrote since being home. And the second one is a book of poetry that I was commissioned to write for schools in Albany, New York. And the last book is probably one of my favorites. It's a business book for artists. So many poets are great performers and great writers, but they don't necessarily make money off of their craft. And so this is how I make my living off of my craft. And so the things that I learned, the obstacles I had to overcome to position myself to make money, I thought I would share it with other artists. So I wrote a book called Your Artist, Your Empire, a guide for artists who want to turn their dreams into a business. So I'm gonna do some poetry. Oh, I have a project called Through Our Eyes, with me and Melanie Wood back there, my everything. And you know, when kids, like, I started getting in trouble when I was like 11. So I was in adult prison by the time I reached 16. And I was working on, through my nonprofit, I was doing homeless outreach, and I discovered that in some areas there are more kids that are homeless versus adults, because most of the mothers have like 1 or more children. And so I knew that the age range was crucial when you make life, when sometimes kids make life decisions. And I didn't want a young girl to decide that she'll never be in a shelter again in her life, or she'll never live in the woods again in her life, so she'll sell her body. And I didn't want a young man to say that he will never be in a shelter again, so he's going to sell drugs or rob people. So we started working within the shelter to teach them multimedia. I know a lot of times people don't want our kids to focus on entertainment, but it's a $1 billion industry. They don't want our kids to focus on sports, but it's a $1 billion industry. And so we teaching art, multimedia art, inside of this shelter, as well as teaching them entrepreneurship, as well as teaching them life skills on how to think outside of the box. I feel obligated because I was an average youth, sold drugs, played with guns, and so I messed up a lot of people's lives. So it's kind of my responsibility to give back, and so that's what I do. When they see us together, they say she must be scared to death, because I look like the Grim Reaper, so I must be using threats to keep her, because I couldn't possibly know how to treat her. Not with my do-rag and my thuggish ways, but They don't hear me at night when I pray for them. And her love for me is deeper than the exterior, because sometimes when I'm praying, she's hearing it. And she said she needed somebody consistent. And throughout her life, she feels like I'm one of the only ones who pays attention. And see, I need somebody to love me despite my rough edges. And see, she makes me laugh, y'all, like I did before I started making bad decisions. And I know I walk around with a frown, but most of the time she turns it upside down, so I'm blessed. And she said the biggest thing she's learning from our relationship is patience. And believe me, I get on her nerves, y'all. See, what we have is much more than they can see. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, we fuss like cats and dogs. But would you believe that most of the time that I give in? See, she's more than just my woman, she's my best friend. And she'll tell y'all that I ain't verbal with all the love talk, but let her be in need and I will bleed to fulfill her needs. See, she made me believe that faith and souls exist. And at first I just thought she was on some psychic shit. Because she told me that we was connected in a past life and that I might have even been her wife. And even though I looked at her twice and I let that pass, but if she believed that our love can transcend death, gotta believe I have to make sure that I'm worth that. See, what we have is much more than they can see. And when she hugs me, my soul slams against her palms. See, I'm supposed to be the scary one, but I feel more safer when I'm in her arms. And she said that my kisses make her future bright. So I make it my business to kiss her before she goes to sleep every night. Because if nobody believes in my future, she does. And I know that this is love because I'm here to stay. See, she makes me happy. Even though she gets on me about the food I eat and running those streets, but when I look back, she's always behind me. So I gently take her by her hand and I lead her beside me. Where she's supposed to be, beside me. See, what we have is much more than they can see, but it really doesn't matter to me as long as she sees it. Is that cool? And I got a secret to tell because this was a rude awakening for me. See all them nights that I sat up on that bunk and dreamed about this day? Now reality and hope just don't look the same. So instantly I'm drained. See, this is the first time in my life that I've ever felt ashamed. See, I have to go live back at my mother's house. And including her, everybody in there, they want me out. See, they say I'm just another mouth to feed, and there isn't no place in there for me to sleep. And then the streets start to whisper to me, Lamont, come back. You ain't gotta live like that. The streets ain't changed. You still know this game. See, the streets keep calling me by my first name. And all my buddies I thought was gonna take care of me when I came home, now they moving in that cell I just left, or they dead and gone. So I'm out here alone trying to fend for myself. And every time I look in your direction, you lower your eyes or your head. So from you, I can't get no help. And then the streets start to whisper to me, Lamont, come back. You ain't gotta live like that. The streets ain't changed. You still know this game. See, the streets keep calling me by my first name. And the other day I go see my parole officer. And she's telling me that I got to do A, B, and C, or she gonna guarantee me they gonna take me back off the streets. And all I wanna do is say, Miss, just help me. But it seemed that she got her guards up like I'm here to make her job rough, so I keep my mouth closed and promise myself that I'ma do as I'm told. But then the streets start to whisper to me, Lamont, come back. You ain't gotta live like that. The streets ain't changed. You still know this game. See, the streets keep calling me by my first name. And the other day I'm going into my mother's building, and these 14 to 22-year-old children asking me who I'm going to see. Instantly I had one of those flashbacks when I used to snatch that gun from my waistline. I would have put something on Shorty's mind, but I was glad I was able to decline. And I just said, I'm going to see my peeps. And his bottom lip dropped, and he nodded his head like he was giving permission to me. And then the streets started to scream at me, Lamont, come back. You definitely ain't got to live like that. The streets ain't changed. You still know this game. See, the streets keep calling me by my first name. And just last night, I was sitting on the edge of the bed trying to hold my brain inside my head. See, I'm starting to get weak. So I'm trying to hold my brain inside my head. See, I'm starting to get weak. So the streets starting to get more visible to me. And then I remember this plan that I created when I was in prison, that I told myself, if I follow it from A to Z, it's going to better my chances when I get free. So I said, I'll try this plan again. A got me a job, B got my own spot. See, every time I touch the stage, I make sure that I leave it high. But I just hope tonight, when I lay down to go to sleep, that I'm not too weak, because the streets gonna be whispering to me, Mom, you ain't gotta live like that. And the sad part about it, y'all, is that the streets may never forget my name. Thank y'all.
Okay, so keep it going before we have an intermission. Speaking of Lamont gives me a lot of tips all the time at open mics, because people don't know I'm a poet because I'm so lazy sometimes. So Lamont's book, How to Build Your Empire. I'm going to go empire, okay? So the next open mic you go to, it's going to be a real open mic, okay? So the next poet comes to the mic is Big Homie. Big Homie.
Oh, I thought you were going to give like a little more. You just like walk on.
Open mic, the homies will hold me down. Always hold me down.
So, I guess she wants the housekeeping first. Well, good evening. Let me not be rude. Good evening. My government name is Jeffrey Banks, poetically known as Big Homie. She wants to know what I have going on. I guess what I do, like she does, she likes to promote other artists. I like to promote different things. Now, if you write this down, or let me say my social media, because a lot of them do that. Twitter and LinkedIn, big homie, H-O-M-E-Y. Most of y'all old enough to know homie don't play that. I can't really do that with the college kids, because I just realized, like, high school kids, they were born in 97. That makes me feel super old. Like, I forget grandpa. Anyway, I'm a road. But still, big homie, H-O-M-E-Y, for LinkedIn and Twitter. Big homie poetry for Facebook and Instagram. So I also have a fan page, Big Homie and Writers. Now, there's FedEx is doing a competition. Now, one thing, I don't know if I should do it from here. I told a couple people. I know a lot of people because, Teisha's family, like, her nieces and her sisters and her parents and all that. But me and the whole man aren't together anymore. But she do my hair. So the thing is, like, as far as with that for the competition, her business is Locks and Twists by Lauren. So if you go, you can vote once on your Facebook, once on your Twitter, and once on your Instagram. Since I have 3 clients, each of them get 1 vote. But still, you can decide if you like one person better than another. You can vote like with all your accounts. But still, Locks and Twists by Lauren. You can look that up on, I think it's smallbusiness.fedex.com. But I'll post it on my Facebook tonight if you check that out. So Locks and Twists by Lauren. There's somebody who has a daycare in DC, Jules, New Beginning Learning Center. I haven't said that on my foot, But if you type in Jewel, like it's spelled Jewels, it'll pop up. Or if you click on DC, there's like 4 of them. So it's just like the one with the ladies in the red shirt, you could vote for her. She has a daycare, Southeast. There's not a lot of good daycares in Southeast, so yeah, support her. And then the last person, my trainer, even though I've gone up and down, some of y'all see my challenges, I'm like 40 down from last year. So my trainer is Premier Fitness. So Premier Fitness LLC, you can check that out and vote for him. But I'll post all of that because I know some people have short-term memory. So check that out. But also for the fact that I write grants. So if you want to get at me with that, I've been deep in grant writing mode. We can talk business, try to work with your nonprofit if you're trying to build a nonprofit. We all like to try to build, those of us who are family in the poetry community, so that's what it is. So, getting to poetry, because I do not want to bore you to death, is, where's the, I'm going to go say this stuff, well actually, yeah, where's the birthday, get her in here. It's supposed to be her party, and I'm like, I don't see her. So I'm like, what's that about? Because, the thing is, I thought, for the birthday stuff, to honor the guest, to honor versus, still a lot of times when we go on autopilot and can say stuff which we've known for years, you can still buy my CD. I got my CD, but I haven't had a chance to develop a new CD. So those of you who haven't gotten it, it's new to you, $10, holla. But still, for the grant writing get me for this, but still, like I said, the guest to honor, I want to be able to honor her. So I'm gonna try 2 new things, and then one which I know is again is this lady. E. Her poetry, everything. There is no maybe. I did not know, sorry to mess up the flow, that it's T-E-I-S-H-A, not T-E-A''S-H-A. So, no, I really thought that was Teisha, so she was she wrote a recommendation line, this spelled different, so I realized that a few months ago. Anyway, back to the flow. S. Yes, the Spirit's holy in her writing. H, humble yourself to Christ. She is inviting. A, Almighty is her God, so don't think that's odd. That T, her testimony's unsurpassed. H, she honors mom and family with so much class. O, openly supports poets in the DMV. M, married to Christ, Proverbs 31 wife. Fellas, don't you see? A, anointed with her craft, please don't bury your gift. F, Sherwood Scribe is meant to uplift, since I know she went to Sherwood High School. You want to type that out for her, make it real nice? so y'all know who Teisha Thomas is. Now, I'm going to try this. Those of you who don't know, and this is also to sell that I write grants, winning grants. Like last year, she came, and the whole family came through to see Kings of Culture and Kush. That it wasn't funded at that time, but then I won a $5,000 grant with Humanities Council. So I did do some singing in that. You know, that was my first time in years, and I've gotten a little bit more back to it. So I hope it doesn't mess up what I'm trying to do. But this, I thought about a throwback song, which most of y'all can probably relate. Y'all can kind of go along with it, but this is a virgin thing, so come on, say that. I can't sleep at night. I toss and turn. And we're going to go through every little part of the song, so I'm just saying. I'm living out the young and the restless, but I'm not so young. Every little step from the Lord, I try not to ignore, but this path ain't so fun. So, Holy One, you are my joy, and I know that gives me strength. I've come this far by faith, so with courage, I'll wait. I trust your worth to length. No matter what your friends try to tell you, we were meant to fall in love. Come on. No matter what your friends try to tell you, we were meant to fall in love. So you mean, the 4 years in the wilderness, the loneliness is supposed to be worthless? I know you're married to a backslider, so I guess we're tight, but my soul you've cleansed, you forgave my sins. So I forgot. That's right. You're by my side like husband and bride, so you guide my narrow path. Because hell's doorway is wide. Like husband and bride, so you guide my narrow path because hell's doorway is wide. Let's see that I can't sleep at night thinking. I can't sleep at night. I toss and turn. Can't sleep at night. Toss and turn, just like listening for the telephone. So when Christ gives me an ear to hear, I get all checked out, choked up. I didn't realize that line until I listened to it earlier this week. I get all choked. Can't believe I found my home. I'll let y'all sing the whole verse, because y'all seem like young man like that. I can't sleep at night. I toss and turn. Listen for the telephone. When I get home, and all choked up. Can't believe he called my home. But he's prepared me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. So the Holy Ghost lives in me, and he makes me a living sanctuary for you, Lord. As a matter of fact, it blows my mind, you would even talk to me. So as a sanctuary, tried and true, this valley experience is making me blue, but as your spirit leads me to all truth, like the Hebrew boys, you tell me what to do. Now again, no matter what your friends try to tell you, we were meant to fall in love. The love of my soul directs my path, not part, but whole. I surely don't understand by, let me go back to the one. The love of my soul directs my path, not part, but whole. I surely don't understand, but I trust, so when the gates of hell seems like they're busting, I'm reminded, I'm sorry, I wrote that, because I'm reminded that we will be together in any kind of weather. It's like, let's try that again. We will be together in any kind of weather. It's like that. It's like that. This righteous man knows that every little step I take, you will be there. Every little step I make, we'll be together. Every little step I take, you will be there. Every little step I make, we'll be together. Yeah. Okay, let me go ahead and do this last one, which I know off the top. I bet not Breeze on this. Mission. Okay, and then she'll call me back up for that. Because most of y'all know it. Y'all have heard me, y'all know